going on, sliders? Today we're working on a B48 powered 230i. This is the first 2 series that I have done a downpipe on, and it's actually the first B48 that I've worked on. You guys already know, got my handy dandy Rhino ramps. This should be a pretty nice smooth install. It's a 21, so we shouldn't deal with any rust. And it's crazy how much space is in here. Like, look at this. Like, look at all that space. It's amazing. Pretty sweet. So yeah, guys, you already know the basics. Pop off the intake out the way, cover off, and disconnect the O2 sensors. Let's see how this B48 sounds. This is the first time I'll ever hear one with a Catless Downpipe VRSF, my favorite. They have great fitment. I recommend them. Let's get to it. All right, guys. So for those of you who haven't dealt with these modern BMWs, they're a little tricky to, I take the downpipe off with the O2 sensors on, obviously. So to remove them from here, all you're gonna need is a flathead, and you're just gonna push on that little tab right there. Right here, you'll see it moves over, and just like that, sensors are off. The clips are pretty straightforward. You just gotta, this was in, you just gotta push it out and then pull. And same thing with this one, you just gotta pull out on that tab, press, and pull it off. And after that, we're just gonna pop off this intake box out the way, and then I'm going to release the turbo clamp bolt, which should be a 13mm down below. So just to confirm, the bolt is down here. It is a 13mm. It's right here. Just follow this clamp down. It's going to be right there. And then once you got that loose, we're going to move on to the bottom to loosen that little support there and the exhaust from that clamp right there. Alright, guys, so once you remove that bolt, you'll be able to just pry up on the clamp like so, push up on the other side. Please make sure that the car has had enough time to cool down, and then you can just leave that clamp there, and then let's move on to the bottom. This is a pretty sweet spec. It has the Brembo and Performance calipers front and back. They're unpainted, but they're the same Brembos that you'll find on the 3 Series and 4 Series, which is pretty sweet. So you know this thing is stopping on a dime. So before I get under here, I like to give myself as much space as possible to work with. So I'm just gonna jack up this. I'm gonna just jack it up from the back here, just so that way sliding in and out is just a lot more comfortable for me. And another thing is, make sure you put the e-brake on. Pull it up as hard as you can, because sometimes these e-brakes don't really activate unless you pull them really hard. I also recommend chalking the one wheel that you're not lifting off the ground, or at least the side that you're not lifting, so that way if the car does roll back, it doesn't just roll off the ramps. I mean, it probably won't be a big deal, but it could fall on the jack and cause damages. All right, guys, so first impressions under here, you are going to see this nut, which is a 16mm, and then you are going to, as you look upwards, you are going to notice that there's actually 2 bolts holding the downpipe. There is the outer one right here, which looks like a 13mm right there, and then as you go over the downpipe, there's another one. Where are you? Right there. It's kind of blended in. See it? Right there. So you get those 2 off, remove this clamp, and she should be right out, because we got the clamp off up top. We may have to loosen up these 2 e-torques just to give us a little room for the exhaust to move back, but I'm gonna loosen these up first and then see how it goes. All right, guys, bolts off. Once you get that off, you're gonna want to use a flathead and just give this a nice little pry. It might give you a little hard time. On other cars, I usually spray PB Blaster, but since this is a clamp style, I don't think it'll give me too much of a fight. I just gotta pry it in the right direction. So I'll tell you guys right now, if your car's anything like this one, this clamp is a pain. After smacking it for like 10 minutes with a hammer and trying to grab it and clamp it down with some channel locks and trying just to bring down this clamp, boy, did that thing give me a fight. It finally budged after spraying it with my lovely PB Blaster. I sprayed it all around, soaked it up, and finally the clamp finally budged. It's finally loose. It's moving. It's coming down. See, it's loose now, so I can work it a little better now. But it was a pain. I guess just the way that this clamp is set up, when you bring this bolt up, it just puts this at an angle, so the threads, it gets caught up on the threads. So you're gonna do a lot of prying. I use the channel locks like this, and I just squeezed it to try to get that clamp down. If you guys get the point. And it finally budged, guys. So good luck with this one. This one will this is probably the hardest clamp that I've ever dealt with, and I've worked on a lot of BMWs and I've done a lot of downpipes. This has been the most frustrating one, but we finally got it loose, so let's move on to the next step. So clamp is off. Now we are going to remove these two E-Torques. You can also use a 8mm. It shouldn't be too tight, hopefully. Let's see. It's an 8mm, and just like that. Put this bracket there. Don't lose it. It's there for a reason. All right, guys. So we got this loose. Now the exhaust can kind of move out of our way, whichever direction we need it to move, and we can wiggle this downpipe out the way. So from the looks of that clamp, that bracket up there, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a hole. So you're going to want to just push the downpipe over to the right and then rotate it to get it down. The way that this clamp is looking, it looks like I might have to just remove that whole bracket, because we're not going to be able to pull it down with the O2 sensors on, but we'll see. I'm going to try to rotate it and see what happens. I'll let you know. All right, guys, so downpipe is still on. I was unable to, I barely moved it. You guys can tell it's off that bracket there, but we're going to have to take the bracket off. The VRSF downpipe doesn't reuse it. There's one bolt right there. That's the one I'm going to start with, and I may be able to just swing it out the way a little bit. But there's another one up there. I'm pretty sure I could see it. It's around there, up there somewhere. I think it's that one. So there might be two bolts holding that bracket. Let's get it out the way. Let's not fight it. It's not going to be reused. If you plan on putting your stock downpipe back on, just keep that bracket. All right, guys. So I got the bolt out, and it's a bell housing bolt, so it's super tight. I had to use a little breaker, 3/8 breaker, and I used a 11mm. I sprayed it with PB Blaster so we wouldn't have any issues. And then there's another one up there, another bell housing bolt that holds the bracket, and I'm not gonna take that off because it's up there. It's gonna be a pain. So what I did was I just grabbed the bracket and I pulled it back towards me, towards the back of the car. I am going to remove this little support bar here after removing some of this undershield stuff, and then I should be able to clear it and bring the downpipe down. If the bracket gets in our way again, I'm just gonna tug it forward a little bit more and we should be fine. So yeah, guys, it's gonna be tight, so Get yourself a nice ratchet, extended ratchet, and just crank on it and you'll get it. Downpipe is out, guys. So after prying on that bracket, pulling it back, and moving that harness off the clip, I was able to finagle it out. The trick is to rotate it to the left so that the O2 sensors can clear the bottom of the bracket, and then you just wiggle it out, just like that. Downpipe is out. Now we're going to, look at that, the gasket's already falling out. How lovely. So we're gonna transfer over this gasket. Oh, and it's broken. It's very unfortunate, but client did not buy gaskets, so we're just gonna reuse it. It shouldn't be an issue. Shouldn't cause any leaks. All right, guys. So O2 sensor are gonna be 22 millimeters. Guys, O2 sensors are over on the new Catless Downpipe. This is gonna go in a lot smoother. So you're gonna tilt the O2 sensors down this way, and once you're past the bracket, you're gonna rotate the downpipe to the right, and you should clear the bracket. That black bracket will no longer be operational. Please remember to put your bell housing bolt back in. And remember to secure this harness back on the clip that is on the bracket. So although it won't be holding on to the downpipe, it still will be holding on to the harness, and it will be clamped down by the bell housing bolt. You could take it out like all the way, but I don't need to. I don't want to. So let's get to it. Let's get this downpipe on and hear how it sounds. All right, guys, so I slid the downpipe up there. I actually mounted it on the turbo a second ago. It's no longer on the turbo, but I did put it into the exhaust, and I secured this this bracket here just so that way it holds the downpipe, since it doesn't have anywhere to support itself with the without those brackets. So now I'm gonna move up to the top. I'm gonna secure it to the turbo, and then we'll come back down here and get this exhaust situated. Guys, downpipe is in. First startup coming up. Sheesh. Definitely not that loud. Would have thought it would have been louder, but
when you the valves are closed.
True, it has a valve, so it has to warm up.
Well, was it open? I should have put it in
sport. Yeah, if you put it in sport now, it'll probably open. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, that sounds tough. Nice. Send it. Oh shoot, that them turbo sounds on point.
That's good, that's good.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, no problem, brother. Damn, that you could hear that Catless downpipe. Sheesh. Hear it. Hear that, man. Nice. Sounds great. Well, that's it for that one, guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and stay sliding. Peace.